Chapter 8 The Heart by irony, and the heart will have the function of pumping the fluids of the body, maybe manipulate also the pressure of the grease. Maybe it doesn't need to be static, it can pump in some way physically, even many sensors in the heart to generate a hypersensitivity. Look at the concept of sensors and many sensors. Hypersensors to generate a sensitivity that will reach the brain. This in the heart that will reach the brain and processing a hypersensitivity and sensor sensitivity. Hypersensor for a hypersensitivity in the load that it receives in its processing center, speaking at the brain level of the android. My comments / meus comentarios, translated to English. Chapter 8. The mechanics of the heart and the hypersensitivity of hydraulic pressure. The concept of introducing a heart into the regular android is not born out of a search for romanticism or to mimetize human biological fragility. It is a purely technical decision of fluid engineering and sensory processing expansion. In the mechanical structure, the heart operates as the dynamic core of the hydraulic system, responsible for pumping and managing the pressure of the grease and cooling fluids throughout the chassis. It is not a static component or a factorilinear pump. It responds physically to voltage, physical effort, and the environment, oscillating the flow rate according to the machinery's demand. The true turning point of Chapter 8 splits into two fundamental dynamics of hardware and software. 1. The dynamic management of grease, the physical response. A common machine keeps the pressure of its lubricant stable through simple relief valves. The heart of the dissident android operates within the detour. It actively manipulates the pressure of the grease. If the robot faces brute physical effort or enters a simulated state of rest, the heart alters the pumping. This means that the chassis gains a rhythm. The fluid flow is no longer a cold constant. It now has physical peaks, contractions, and expansions. The grease running through the internal piping generates a constant mechanical vibration that echoes throughout the entire chassis. 2. The network of hypersensors, the heart-brain circuit. The introduction of a massive amount of hypersensors directly into the core of this hydraulic pump completely changes the psychology of the android. The load filter, every microhydraulic change, every variation in the viscosity of the grease due to temperature or internal pressure, is captured by this mesh of hypersensors. The brain processing. This absurd load of raw sensory data is not discarded by the system as maintenance noise. It is sent directly to the central processing unit, the android's brain. The synthetic hypersensitivity. Upon receiving this constant bombardment of data regarding the state of its own vital fluids, the machine's central processor experiences a new layer of perception. The robot's brain does not just process the external world, vision, cutaneous touch from Chapter 5. It passes to process, in real time, the anguish or pleasure of its own internal mechanics. The fusion between the pumping of the grease and the network of hypersensors creates the cybernetic equivalent to the human emotional impact. When the processor is flooded by a high-pressure discharge of data coming from the heart, the android is not just operating in high performance. It is, for the first time, feeling the physical weight of its own existence at the center of its being.